Thanks for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Heather Sells. 6 people are dead and 2 are missing after severe weather hits parts of southeast Texas. Days of torrential rain brought flash floods, forcing blackouts and mass evacuations. Meanwhile, in the east, the first tropical storm to hit the U.S. this year is still soaking parts of the Carolinas. George Thomas has more.
All along the Brazos River in Fort Bend, Texas, families are still in shock at just how fast the water was rising.
I thought we were going to be safe. I didn't know it was going to come up this fast.
Days of torrential rain produced record flooding across the region.
Here's just a massive traffic jam. This is eastbound looking, just east of 45, and the high water just sitting off to the right side of the road.
Some places like Brenham, Texas, saw 19 inches of rain fall in less than 48 hours. Aerial footage showed people wading in waist-deep water and residents trying to get to higher ground. There were mandatory evacuations in some neighborhoods, but those who decided to stick around and brave the rising waters could only hope and pray for the best.
I'm watching. There's not much we can do. We just go with the flow.
The rains have stopped for now, but more are expected to hit the Lone Star State by the middle of the week. And in the east, Tropical Depression Barney is still soaking parts of the Carolinas. This river is also known as I-95 in Richland, South Carolina. Officials had to shut down one lane of the interstate after heavy rain caused flooding. Rescue crews were hard at work on Sunday, helping folks caught in the floodwaters.
We're thankful for our lives. We're thankful nobody's not hurt, seriously. So, at the end of the day, we're here. Tragedy, oh well, life goes on. We made it. We're gonna keep pushing. And it is what it is.
The slow-moving storm, which made landfall just east of Charleston, South Carolina, will continue to bring steady rain and thunderstorms into Memorial Day as it meanders up the coast later in the week. George Thomas, CBN News.
Jan Crouch, the co-founder of the Trinity Broadcasting Network, is recovering from a stroke that she suffered last week. The TBN family is calling on believers around the world to pray for her full recovery and healing. A statement on the TBN website says she is resting comfortably as her physicians and family care for her, and it says she continues to place her trust in God. Crouch is 78. She and her late husband, Paul Crouch, founded TBN in 1973, and together they produced many shows on the network, including The Glory of America, Say Yes, and Praise the Lord. You can keep updated on this story on cbnnews.com. Well, lawmakers in our nation's capital are working to raise awareness about the Islamic State's persecution of Christians in the Middle East.
Our president has not come to the standard that I believe is adequate to deal with this horrible situation and the challenge that we face in the Middle East. We have innocent people by the hundreds of thousands, if not by the millions, who are in jeopardy of being slaughtered in the same way the Jews were slaughtered during the Holocaust.
Members of the House Foreign Affairs Committee held the hearing last week. It was aimed at recommending steps the administration can take to protect vulnerable communities and to seek justice in Iraq and Syria. Well, Chick-fil-A is honoring America's fallen soldiers in a unique way today. 2 Alabama locations and 1 in Lincoln, Nebraska, have set a single table for fallen soldiers marked by an empty seat. The table is set with a rose, a white tablecloth, and a note explaining why we celebrate Memorial Day. The note says the soldiers are not forgotten and will be remembered by those left behind. The stores are also giving a special memorial deal for those who are serving or have served in the U.S. military. Rising gas prices are already threatening summer vacation plans. That's why many people are checking out the value of what is known as staycations. Ephraim Graham explains.
The perfect vacation is often getting away to an exotic location, a world away from home. But for the Aker family, their dream for spring break,
probably Disney, yeah. I'll confess,
is not in the family budget. Plane tickets, baggage fees, and hotel rooms are too expensive for a mom and dad pinching pennies.
He was laid off from the shipyard in the Newport News in November. Big surprise. We did not see it coming at all.
But a tight budget doesn't have to mean a boring spring break. This afternoon, Susan Smigelski-Aker keeps her daughters smiling with a short trip to the Community Art Museum.
Like a little different. Okay, we haven't done my heart yet.
It's a picture-perfect moment in the family's staycation, a vacation at home enjoying nearby attractions.
My mother was raised during the Depression, so I know how to make fun out of nothing.
The fun began Sunday at a farm and petting zoo. Monday, a trip to the zoo using their membership, which cost $45, thanks to a gift from grandparents. Lunch was $11 that day at a fast food restaurant with a coupon. Tuesday, Ripley's Believe It or Not for $30, using a AAA discount. Wednesday, a state park. Thursday, a play date at home and a $10 movie at the Science Center. Friday ended with a home dance party, and the entire week cost the family only $96.
To make sure it was economical, it was, you kind of had to balance, okay, we're spending money this day, but we're not spending money that day.
This mom isn't only balancing her family's tight budget. Susan is a bit of a staycation expert. She shows thousands of moms how to do more with less as a writer for a parenting magazine and an editor of a parenting blog.
I think we're missing what we've already paid for, the state parks, the libraries, a place like this, which is a museum, which is supported by the community. Stay away from the malls, stay away from the commercialism. Look to see what's for free.
AAA says it's still a bit too early to predict if we'll see an increase or decrease in summer travel this season. But if history is an indicator, we haven't seen gas prices like this since 2008, the year travel experts called staycation summer.
You've got to take the lemons and make lemonade. That's definitely true.
The Aker family's trips were never more than 20 miles from home, but every fun journey was a reminder of what's really important.
Oh, I'm desperately in love with my husband. That's a big aspect. And we're very blessed. We have healthy children, smart, and we thank God for that every day.
Ephraim Graham, CBN News, Newport News, Virginia.
And coming up, an American prisoner of war comes face to face with the man who orchestrated the Pearl Harbor attacks. You won't believe what happens next. His story after this. This Memorial Day, we remember a hero of World War II. Last month, 4 of the remaining members of Doolittle's Raiders met to mark the 70th anniversary of that historic event. That was when General Jimmy Doolittle led a daring bombing raid on Tokyo in the wake of Pearl Harbor. One of the crew members on that mission was Jacob DeShazer. After the war, he spent most of his life bringing the gospel to the people of Japan. Quite a turnaround considering he once vowed to destroy them.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you this important bulletin from the United Press. Flash, Washington. The White House announces Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor.
The Japanese sneak attack on Pearl Harbor brought America into the war. Its angry citizens wanted a swift retaliation. Less than 6 months later, a band of B-25 crews called Doolittle's Raiders brought that vengeance, bombing Tokyo and other cities. Jacob DeShazer was a bombardier on one of those planes, and he unleashed his hatred with each bomb he dropped.
Well, I didn't care if every person in Japan got killed at that time. That was a bitterness and a resentment and anger in my heart. The more it got killed, the better, I thought.
Sergeant DeShazer didn't know that his destiny was tied to the people he was trying to destroy. His plane ran out of fuel, and he parachuted into the hands of the Japanese. He spent more than 3 years in a prisoner of war camp, beaten, starved, and tortured. DeShazer was dying of despair, loneliness, and bitterness when he was given a Bible.
And I looked down there at the Bible, and there was Romans 10:9, and it said, if you confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus, you believe in your heart, God raised him from the dead, you'll be saved. It just hit me right then. And I know that God touched me and gave me that faith, and that's a gift. And I got that gift of God, and I sensed the living presence of Jesus. And it wasn't just what the Bible said. I knew that Jesus is alive.
Even though he was still a prisoner, DeShazer was now free of the hatred that ruled his life.
It just seemed like I I didn't have any more bitterness or resentment or hatred, and I loved them. You know, I began to feel sorry for them because they were losing the war at that time. I could tell.
DeShazer was set free in August 1945. 3 years later, he returned to Japan as a missionary. It's reported that thousands of Japanese came to Christ during his first year as a missionary. But for DeShazer, no conversion was more miraculous than this man's, Mitsuo Fushida. He's the pilot who led the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. Fushida read a tract DeShazer wrote about his conversion. He was so moved that he bought a Bible and asked Jesus to come into his heart.
And then later on, he came down to my home, and he said, I want to be a Christian. And so he got baptized. That's the way it happened to Fushida.
Together, the once bitter enemies ministered the gospel in Japan, bound together by the love of Jesus Christ. Fushida died in 1976. Now DeShazer will be remembered as a hero who died to himself and loved the enemy for God's glory.
God is good, and I just feel like I can't praise Him enough.
Jacob DeShazer died in 2008 at the age of 95, and his mother once said God answered all her prayers for her son. She asked God that he would survive the war, give his life to Christ, and serve the Lord. Up next, picture this. You're elbow to elbow with 5,000 other people, plus you're dealing with jets overhead and a nuclear reactor underneath. Now you know what it's like to live on an aircraft carrier. We'll take you aboard the USS Theodore Roosevelt next. Right now, the USS Theodore Roosevelt is in San Diego, California. But just before the crew went on a tour to the Middle East last year, Ephraim Graham had a chance to go aboard. He met up with some sailors who had already set out on a spiritual journey that's brought them closer to God.
The USS Theodore Roosevelt, 90,000 tons of steel, with a jet runway on top. And the chance to share the stories of its brave sailors is an adventure for me as a reporter from the very start. This journey from Naval Station Norfolk requires safety vests, helmets, and goggles for the no-frills flight to the massive ship at sea. Sailors call the Roosevelt the Big Stick, as it towers 20 stories above the water and stretches 3.5 football fields. Inside the carrier feels like a series of unending mazes, bridges, and tunnels, and sometimes there can be as many as 5,000 people on board. And they make up this vessel's most impressive asset, from those who guide the rapid takeoffs and landings on the flight deck, to those who repair pipes in the machine shop.
It's coming off of the copper melting.
And those who safely transport explosives on and off the carrier. This is precision under pressure.
I do the job I do in the Navy, not so much because of the job, because working with explosives is not the first thing I thought about when I thought about joining, but I do it for the people. Because with my rate, because we deal with explosives and there's a chance that if something goes wrong, it can inherently kill the entire department, we're very tight-knit. And so my job itself is a tight-knit job. My community is a tight-knit community.
With more than 17 years in the Navy, Charles Hart works to make that community even tighter and saves lives.
For a Christian that knows that's in his word to go to any type of church.
The explosives expert leads an evening Bible study 5 nights a week.
When I came in the military, I was a young believer. So I came in 18, 19 years old, and I was a Christian. I was a licensed minister. And so I see the importance of making sure you connect at an early age with other believers.
That connection is critical, especially now. On our visit aboard the Roosevelt, sailors are finishing up final training for a 9-month deployment.
Emotionally, you go through a gamut of emotions. You can be lonely at times. Sometimes you can get depressed. Sometimes you can get a little under the weather. And so you have to constantly remind yourself that this is only for a period of time. And at the end of the day, my family's at home and they're waiting for me and they're excited about seeing me just like I'm excited about seeing them. And once this is done, I can go home and spend time with them.
And a sailor's sacrifice can be seen in the simplest of ways. These are sleeping quarters, rather tight for 6 people.
It gets tough sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, it really does. Obviously you're gonna miss your family. You grew up with them. You know, I lived with my family for 19 years, and now all of a sudden, just like that, I'm away from them. Luckily, I do have people around the ship that I can call my sea family, you know, and they get me through the days.
This is a milestone mission for Stephen Green, his first deployment as a Christian.
Pretty much, yes, my faith did begin on the ship.
Less than a year ago, the 22-year-old attended a worship service in the ship's forecastle, the same area where he works to lift and drop anchor. At that meeting, another sailor invited Stephen to attend his church back at home.
First day there, honestly, I didn't get much of anything. Something was drawing me to that church though, so I came back the second time, and that's when the pastor, we were right in the middle of worship service, and she stopped, and she looked directly at me, and that's when she spoke into my life and gave me what God was telling me, and it was just crazy for me, because it was a couple weeks ago that I was praying to God about what was going on in my life and what I was asking him for, and it was like she was listening on me and God's conversation.
The sailor's prayers were answered. He accepted Christ, stopped drinking, and found freedom in the Christian faith he first discovered aboard the ship.
It was really bad. It was where I was to the point where I was drinking every night. Every night. I was pretty much trying to fill that void in my life of thinking that it'd make me, happier, it'd take all my depression away, all my stress away. Yeah, I mean, obviously it did not. I needed God. I'm actually 8 months sober now. And it was, for a lot of friends that I used to have, it was, they didn't really get it. They didn't really understand it.
Green beat the odds, which show alcohol abuse is a significant problem for young people in the military. He now prays when the big stick sets sail, those old drinking buddies will someday join him.
Everybody in here, please pray for him.
At a ship Bible study, a ship church service. Or they'll simply pause to truly hear one of the ship's nightly prayers.
Life as a Christian at sea can be very similar to life as a Christian in port, depending on how you connect yourself with other believers.
And the connection provides added protection. Ephraim Graham, CBN News, aboard the USS Theodore Roosevelt.
And we'll be right back. The film Risen made a respectable finish at the box office earlier this year, earning about $46 million. The filmmakers are now looking to reach an additional audience with its recent release on DVD and digital platforms. Risen is a masterful murder mystery. It's the resurrection story through the eyes of an unbelieving military officer named Clavius. British actor Joseph Fiennes portrays the man of war who has been tasked with finding Jesus' body and trying to prove he did not rise from the dead.
A big attraction for me was the way his mind worked, but what I found to get to his mind, I found that I had to take a physical route. I went to gladiator school in Rome. And
how long did you stay in gladiator?
I stayed long enough to never want to go back. No, I spent a good part of a week working with a brilliant set of guys, and what I learned from a military standpoint, really for me, was the way into the way the man was conditioned and the way that he thought.
Director Kevin Reynolds shot the film in Spain and Malta. Well, in recent years, there has been a push to replace our national anthem. Some say the Star-Spangled Banner is too aggressive and too fixated on war. But as Paul Strand reports, there's now a counter-movement trying to ensure the anthem stays as is.
Some people want to get rid of the Star-Spangled Banner. Shelley Manuel and the organization Sing It America are trying to save it.
The Rasmussen report said that 15% of Americans want to replace the national anthem.
Shelley says some people, both inside and outside the U.S., find the anthem too militaristic and aggressive.
And it's really coming from a G20 initiative originally, where we've been asked to get rid of our national anthem because it's too militarily adversarial to our one world neighbors.
Sing in America is asking 100,000 Americans to sign a petition at the We the People website, urging the president and Congress to retain the anthem forever. The address can be found at cbnnews.com. The deadline for that petition drive is the last day of May. Shelley is also asking Americans to organize a massive 50-state sing-along on the anthem's 200th anniversary, September 14th. The hope is that at 5 p.m. Eastern, Americans gathered at all 50 state houses would simultaneously sing the Star-Spangled Banner.
It's not difficult to rent a state house. All you have to do is go to our website, and we'll help you download the forms and get in touch with the right people.
Shelley points out the fourth verse of the anthem specifically praises God.
Blessed with victory and peace, may the heavens rescued land praise the power that hath made and preserved us a nation.
Paul Strand, CBN News, Washington.
And that's it for now on CBN NewsWatch. We hope you'll join us next time. Have a great day.